Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 1 college football picks for the 2019 college football season. Yes, we are already here. It's so exciting. I'm so thrilled. I know you probably can't tell by my voice because I want you guys to understand me, but when I get excited, I get pretty fired up. But anyways, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate if you do that, and you won't regret it. So college football week 1 picks, as I said in the video about I think about 2 weeks ago, maybe a week ago, I said how I'm going to do the picks this year. 20 picks, 10 straight up, five upsets, and 5 locks of the week. I'll be picking against the spread and giving you a score for each one as well. So without further ado, we'll start off with the straight up picks. Here's 5 games right here. I put the spread next to each game. First game we're going to talk about is Georgia Tech versus Clemson. Clemson, national champs, reigning national champs. They play their first game of the year, a Thursday night game at home against Georgia Tech to kick off conference play. Georgia Tech, they were changing that whole offense, and I think Georgia Tech's going to struggle a lot in this game. Give me Clemson to cover the 37 points, and I have Clemson winning this one 48-6, Clemson. And by the way, these spreads I just got them. So these spreads are the spreads that are on betnow.eu. That's the site I use as of noon. So if you're watching is maybe Thursday or Friday, these spreads came out Wednesday at noon. Next game, FIU versus Tulane. Kind of a sneaky matchup right here. Tulane, they're kind of an inconsistent team. FIU, they look to improve off of last season. Last season, they kind of surprised a few people. I went back and forth with this one. Tulane's a 2.5-point favorite. I think Tulane wins this game and covers. I have Tulane going ahead and winning this one 30-27. I have Tulane by field goal, and I think Tulane wins this game. Next game, Wisconsin versus South Florida. South Florida is a 12.5-point underdog. Wisconsin's a team, Jonathan Taylor at running back. A lot of people think that Wisconsin is going to run South Florida off the own field. I think this game is going to be a bit closer than expected. I still have Wisconsin winning this one, but I don't have them covering. I think Wisconsin goes ahead, and I think they're going to win this one 31-24. Wisconsin. They will win this one by a touchdown. Next game, Utah State versus Wake Forest. Wake Forest is a 3.5-point favorite. Wake Forest, they're going to have a pretty good offense this year. Utah State, they have that quarterback in Jordan Love. I went back and forth with this one. I'm going to give it to Wake Forest because Utah State is going to be traveling across the country. And I think Wake Forest wins and covers this one. I think Wake Forest goes ahead and wins this one 42-45. I have Wake Forest by a touchdown. Next game, now we go to games on Saturday because the Wisconsin, South Florida, and the Utah Wake Forest games are on Friday. FIU Tulane is on Thursday, like the Georgia Tech and Clemson one. Northwestern versus Stanford. Northwestern is a team, they won the Big Ten West last year and lost a somewhat competitive game to Ohio State. Stanford, they always seem to be one of the better teams in the Pac-12. The game is in Stanford. This is a 4 p.m. kickoff Eastern Standard Time. Stanford is the 25th best team in the country. I went back and forth with this one, 6.5. If I was forced to bet on this one, I would probably go ahead and say Stanford wins this one by a touchdown. I actually have a 20-14 Stanford. I think Northwestern plays them tough. I don't think Stanford covers that spread, but I will stay away from this one. If I was a betting man, I will stay away from this one. 20-14 Stanford. I do not have Stanford covering. Now the 5 other games I have for the straight up. The sixth game I have for the straight up. Georgia versus Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt is a 21.5-point underdog. This game, I think, could go either way with the spread. Georgia's obviously going to win, but I think this game could go either way with the spread. I'm going to sit up here and say that Georgia does cover, but not by much. I have Georgia going ahead. I have Georgia winning this one, 40-17. Georgia, 23-point win there for Georgia. It sounds like DeAndre Swift, he might not play in this one. I think Georgia does. I'm just not completely sold on the Georgia defense. I think Vandy plays them kind of tough. Give me Georgia to win 40-17. Next game, Missouri versus Wyoming. Wyoming is a 15, not 15. Wyoming is a 17.5-point favorite. Excuse me, 17.5-point underdog. And man, Missouri versus Wyoming. Wyoming's a 17.5-point underdog. I personally think this game, I would stay away from this game if I was a betting man. I personally think that Missouri is a lot better than Wyoming, but I think Wyoming's going to play them tough, and I'm going to say Missouri does not cover that 17.5-point spread. I have Missouri winning this game 38-23. And it's a 15-point win. It's still a pretty decent win, but Wyoming's going to play a lot of these teams tough. So I'm going to go ahead and say that Missouri does not cover and give me Missouri to go ahead and win this one 38-23. Next game, Oregon versus Auburn. Auburn's a 3.5-point favorite. A lot of people are picking Auburn to win this game and cover. I think Oregon, I think they have the better quarterback. I think they could have a better offense than Auburn. People are really high on this Auburn defense. I think Auburn's defense is a bit overrated. I'm going to go ahead and go with Oregon in this one. I'm going to say Oregon pulls off the minor upset here. I'm going to say Oregon goes ahead and probably wins this one. I have a 27-23 Oregon. The game's in Dallas, Texas. It's, I think, a 7:30 p.m. start time on ABC. It's the game of the week. Give me Oregon to win 27-23 in the minor upset. The ninth game in the straight up. Fresno State versus USC. USC is a 13.5-point favorite. USC is definitely not covering that spread. I'll come out and say that right now. I really went back and forth with this one. I think USC is going to struggle some this year. Fresno State, I think, is probably your second or third best team in the Mountain West. The game's in USC since it's in the Coliseum. Went back and forth with it. I'm giving it to USC. Not by much though. I'm going to say USC goes ahead and wins this one 31-27 USC. I think they get through this one to get by Fresno State, and I think USC goes ahead and wins this one 31-27. And people have USC in the top 25. I can't believe that, but I think they're going to struggle this year. But they're going to go ahead and win this one 31-27. Started there a little bit. And then my final game and the straight up picks. Houston versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma's a 23.5-point favorite. Oklahoma is definitely not covering that spread. I think at most Oklahoma wins this game by 3 touchdowns. 23.5-point spread in this one. Oklahoma's a 23.5-point favorite. I don't think they cover that. I think Houston plays them tough, but at the end, I think Oklahoma gets through this one 49-35 Oklahoma. I have them winning by 2 touchdowns. So now that's the straight up picks. Now here's my locks of the week. Let's talk about these 5 games. UCLA versus Cincinnati. Cincinnati is a 3-point favorite at home. I think Cincinnati definitely wins this one by more than 3 points. I have Cincinnati winning this game 31-23. Cincinnati, I think they win this one by 8 points. I actually going to come out on a limb and say this. I think Cincinnati is a better team than UCLA this year. I really do. I think UCLA kind of struggles some this year. And I think Cincinnati kicks off the season going 1-0 with a 31-23 win over UCLA and my first lock of the week. My second lock of the week, South Carolina versus North Carolina. Already did a preview for this game, so go check that out on my channel. But I said this game does have the possibility of being a lock for the week, and I decided to put it on my locks of the week. South Carolina at this time is a 10.5-point favorite. That's where I could maybe even jump up to 11.5 points. That number might move some. It might move back down to 10 points. I think South Carolina goes ahead and wins this one, though. I'm not really going to spend too much time on this one. Go check out the preview if you really want my thoughts on this one. South Carolina wins this one 31-17 for my second lock of the week. Next game, Duke versus Alabama. Alabama's a 33.5 point favorite. A lot of people are saying that Duke's going to cover here. I think Duke plays them tough, but I think Alabama goes ahead and covers this game. I think Alabama covers. I have it 45-10 Alabama. Some people have this game like 59-17 Alabama. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think we're gonna see one of these old school Alabama games a few years ago when Saban just ran out the defense and they just ran the what out of the ball on the offense. And I think Duke plays them tough. I won't surprise me if Duke is in this one for a quarter, honestly. I know that's kind of an Alabama thing to say if you're not an Alabama fan. But I'm serious. I think Duke could be in this one for a quarter. But at the end, Alabama had way too much talent. 45-10 Alabama, as I think they covered the spread in this one. Next game, Virginia versus Pitt. Uh, Pitt is a 2.5 point underdog. Virginia is a 2.5 point favorite. I think Virginia goes into Pitt and wins this one, and I think they cover that spread. Virginia, to me, I have them winning the ACC Coastal. Some people think Miami's still going to win. We'll see what happens, but I think Virginia goes into Pitt, and I'm going to say Virginia goes ahead and wins this one, 27-17 over Pitt. I think Virginia is a very good team. Last year when these two teams played, Pitt won that game, but Pitt also won the ACC Coastal. I think Virginia's is going to go get a. I think Virginia's going to go in there looking for revenge. And I think Virginia wants to get a good start to their season. This game's on the ACC network, 27-17 Virginia in this one. And then my final lock of the week, Notre Dame versus Louisville. Louisville is a 20-point underdog at home. Notre Dame's 20-point favorites on the road. Notre Dame's going to win this game. I think they cover that 20-point spread. Some people think that Louisville could maybe be in this game for the first half. I just don't see that. Notre Dame has a pretty good defense, and I think Notre Dame rides on their defense and wins this one 42-14. Notre Dame. I think they win this one by 28 points. So that's my locks of the week. Here's my 5 upsets of the week. First upset, Utah versus BYU. BYU, 6.5 point underdogs. And I have BYU winning this game outright. I have BYU winning this one 20-17. Rivalry game. BYU's at home. Some people are high on BYU. I'm not too high on them. But I think BYU gets Utah on this one. 20-17 BYU in the upset. And by the way, for my upset picks, they have to be at least a 3-point spread, just like it is on College Game Day. Next upset, this is my biggest upset of the week right here. Purdue versus Nevada. Nevada is an 11-point underdog at home. I think Nevada goes into this game, covers the spread, and wins this game outright. Purdue, outside Wandale Moore, they don't really have much on their team. Their defense, I think, will struggle. Nevada is to me probably a top 5 team in the Mountain West. I think they look to improve off of last season. I think Nevada goes into this game, pulls off the big time upset, 44-42 Nevada with a 2-point win. Next game, Ole Miss versus Memphis. Ole Miss is a 5.5 point underdog on the road. I think they go into Memphis in this rivalry game right here. I think Ole Miss wins this game straight up, covers the spread, and wins outright over Memphis. People are high on Memphis. People actually think that Memphis could represent the Group of 5 in the New Year's Six Bowl. I beg to differ. But Memphis, they have a really good offense. This is going to be a shootout. But I think Ole Miss goes into Memphis and beats them. A lot of Ole Miss fans actually are in Memphis, so expect the crowd to be a majority of Ole Miss fans. And I have Ole Miss winning this one, 55-48. Ole Miss in this one by a touchdown, as they kick off the season 1-0 in their first season with no bowl ban in a few seasons. Next game, Eastern Michigan versus Coastal Carolina. I tried to at least get one team in every conference on this video, so I had to get the MAC and Sun Belt in this video. So this is the game I picked. Coastal Carolina, a 6-point underdog at home. I think Coastal Carolina covers the spread here. Not covers. I think Eastern Michigan does not cover, and I think Coastal Carolina wins outright. Coastal Carolina, they're a team that I think has the potential to make a bowl game this year. Eastern Michigan has a very good defense, but with this game being in Myrtle Beach or Conway or wherever the two whichever city is, I know is one of those two. I think Coastal Carolina wins this game at home. I'm going to go ahead and say Coastal Carolina wins kind of a low-scoring game in this one, 24-20, Coastal Carolina, and the upset. And then the final upset, Boise State versus Florida State. To me, the second biggest game of this week. Florida State, a 4.5-point favorite at home. I already did a preview on this game, so I'm not going to really discuss this game too much, but I think Florida State does not cover. I think Boise State wins this game outright. I have it 33-30, Boise State. I'm not saying Boise State is the better team than Florida State because yes, Boise State has to go across the country basically, but this game's a neutral site game. There's gonna probably be more Boise State fans there than it would be if this game was in Florida State. And I think Boise State goes ahead and pulls off the upset. I just have a gut feeling about this one. 33-30, Boise State. So those are my picks for week 1. Comment down below. Tell me what you think about my picks. I always like hearing from y'all. If you want me to pick a game for you, which was not on this video, outside of the Maryland game, I'll be more than happy to pick it because I'm picking the Maryland game on Friday. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate if you do that and you won't regret it. Thanks for watching, and this is McD the Beast signing off.